Now, Maseratis and Ferraris are beautiful cars, beautifully designed, beautifully manufactured, and they're just perfect in every way. But when I bought this Maserati, I thought to myself, this car's never been finished. So I looked at this, and one Saturday I was in the office up here, and I was on the computer and I was going through the designers, and I saw Design Q, and I thought, they're in Redditch. I thought, this is amazing.
Well, at the beginning of this project, John came to see us and we had a bit of a conversation to find out exactly what he wanted. We're looking at a 10-year-old car which he likes a lot, but he doesn't like enough. But he likes it enough to still keep the car. So for us, we can't mess around with the car to turn it away from what he actually likes, but at the same time, our role is then to try and find a solution, changes around the car that lift the car and take it to the place where he wants it to be.
When I asked them to produce some ideas of what we was going to do, and I said, the interior was okay, but wasn't okay, and the actual body the body shape was obviously like an MG. It was just awful. It didn't go anywhere. And then we discussed all this, and then they came up with different sorts of drafts of ideas, and that is what was the whole basis of what this car is. And I think there's 64 illustrations of what they was actually doing. And well, I started to pick out the ones which I thought were the nicest ones to put onto the car.
Once we'd come up with some ideas for John, the next stage then was for us then to take his car to central scanning, not far from us here. We work very regularly with those guys. We were able to take the car and to scan the whole car so that we have all that 3D data, which we then can use on the computer to redesign. So if we're putting parts onto an existing part, we know what the shape is. If we're replacing the part, we know that we have to hold certain dimensions to fit lamps and all these sort of things. Once we got the project started at Design Q, we set the car up on a rig like this so that the whole thing is stable and is true in dimension. With all that scan data, we then have the opportunity of either doing it the new way, which is a digital way, or the old-fashioned processes where we're getting sculptors to hand make parts in clay and then taking molds off that clay to then allow us to take a part out of the mold. And it's an age-old process of how you reproduce things. That's what we used on the front of the car, so the whole of the front of the car was done in automotive clay. And the reason why we do it in automotive clay is because it's easy to work, you can get a very fine finish, but you can change it and evolve it. It's something that is fluid, it's something that you only have to decide at a point in time in the future that that's it. And when that is it, you then take a mold off that, and you will see the molds as they're taken off the car, off the bumper, ready to make the parts out of that tool. The other method is the digital method, and that's where everything is created on the computer and then outputted to a machine to make a tool or to make the component. And many parts on this project we've done that way too. So the guys are working with different ways of making things. So the rear section of the car, the bumper and all the under venting and fairings, that's a very large tool that has been machined from digital data that our engineers and designers have created. And then molds, they then become the mold for the part that comes out. So we use those in the same way as we do the splash on the front of the clay. The second phase for the digital is exactly the same, in that we're taking the part out of that tool to make 1, 2 or 10 parts. The process then moves on to the point where you're ready to take the components and then get them painted. What we have to ensure is that all the lamps fit, that all the fixings, all the pickup points on the car, that everything fits properly. Blowing in the paintwork over these surfaces, it's amazing how a dull moulding that's in grey primer suddenly becomes something that has got life in it, that's got form in it, that's got sexiness in it, and straight away you start to react to it like a real car. Car's back from the paint shop, looking good, nice clean coat over the whole car. We're at the stage now where all the parts are coming back. We've got the bumpers and we have the grille from the machining shop and the polishing shop. So at this stage, it's really getting ready for the interior. All the interior parts are ready, they're all trimmed and upholstered, and the seats, completely new design of seat, is now going into the car. And this is an exciting time where suddenly the contrast of the leather and the paintwork starts to work as a combination of surfaces, finishes and design.
The guys that are there, they are so enthusiastic about everything that they do. They're just very enthusiastic, and they actually put a heart and soul into it. They need to love what they're doing, and they do.
Well, here we are at Birmingham Airport at Marshall Aerospace, ready to hand over the Maserati 4200 Spider to John. A truly wonderful Maserati that's like nothing else in the world. It's been an exciting process for us, for all the guys. We've worked hard and we're incredibly proud of what we've done.
That's incredible, isn't it? Hey?
Take a look. We'll wander around it.
It's absolutely, it exceeds every one of my expectations. It's just, I mean, this almost brings tears to my eyes. It's just so fantastic. It really is. It is absolutely beautiful. And I wouldn't have done it without Design Q, and I'm so pleased that I found Design Q, and I'm so pleased that I've got to know the guys, and I'm pleased that they've enjoyed it. It's meant a lot to me, personally. It's just perfect.